I'm James Ernest, and today we are playing Whispers. Whispers is a gambling game, a pub game. It is super easy, and it's going to be kind of familiar if you've played pairs or even lowball. The structure of the game is you're trying not to get a pair, and the differences are it's a slightly different deck, and also the penalties are very interesting. The penalties is kind of where this game is. The Whispers deck is the numbers 1 through 6, 8 times, and then 6 more cards called Whispers. So it's an 8-suited deck. It's based on an older dice game. This is fiction, actually. There isn't such a dice game yet, but the idea is that that dice game turned into this dice deck with the numbers 1 through 6. And when you got a pair on the come-out roll, you would get one of those dice would turn into a Whisper. That's why we have the Whisper cards. We'll talk about that in a second. Whispers is about the simplest game there could be. You're just taking cards one at a time and trying not to get a pair. Everyone says whether they're in or out on a given round, and if you're out, you just can't possibly owe any more money. If you're in and you get a pair, you pay the value of the pair. So a pair of aces is a pair of ones, that's $1. A pair of sixes is $6, and every Whisper in your hand doubles that penalty. Whispers can't pair anything, even each other, but if you have a Whisper in your hand and then you catch a pair, your penalty gets doubled. Let's start off with anteing 1 chip per. Now, I'm using $5 chips as my 1 coin, and so we can just do that multiplication in our heads if we want, but 1 coin is the amount of the ante, and I'm going to deal 2 cards face up to every player. So a couple of things. First of all, we got a couple of cards that are Whispers, and to make them easier to see on the camera, I'm actually going to flip them face down, but that's kind of the same as what's happening in my hand. If you get a pair on the deal, one of those also turns into a Whisper. A pair usually kills you, but on the deal you have no choice, and so, of course, I turn my pair of 4s into a 4 and a Whisper. This is the dealer button. This is just a token that's going to pass around and tell us who has to act first. So as the dealer, I act last. The person on my left has to go first and decides out loud whether they're in or out. Everyone's going to make that decision, and I'll just keep everyone in for right now. If you're out, you just fold and you don't owe any more money. If you're in, you get another card. So on the 3 and the Whisper, I'm going to deal a 1. That player is safe. Here's another 3 and a 1. She catches another 1, and so she's dead. So she is out for the lowest penalty, 1 coin. The 6 Whisper gets a deuce. The 2-5 gets a Whisper. And I'll throw that over so you can see it better. And on my 4, I get a 3. I'm still alive. So 4 players go to this next round. We still decide in the same order. The button doesn't move. And so this player says, am I in with a 3 and a 1 and a Whisper? Probably yes. The only time you want to fold is when you have really high cards and you probably will die. We're all going to stay in. So there's a 2-1-3 Whisper. That's a pretty darn good hand. There's a 3 for the 2-6. 2-5 gets a 3. And the 3-4 gets a 2. We're all still alive, and things are getting a little dicey now because people are going to start dropping. Along with the Whisper being a penalty doubler, the other interesting thing about how these penalties work is if everyone who is left dies at the same time on the same round, then the pot goes to the person who paid the highest penalty. So if you think you're going to die, and horribly, you might pay the highest penalty and actually keep the pot. Let's see if that happens. The 3-2-1-0 gets another Whisper. There's a 4 for a safe hand. There's another Whisper for a safe hand. And myself, I finally died. I paid 3 times 2. I have to pay 6 coins. And I'm out. Now we're down to 3 players. Action's over here. He's got 2 Whispers and a 1-2-3. No one would fold in that hand. Let's see if we get a washout. If everyone dies on the same round, then the person who paid the highest penalty will take the pot. 3-2-1 gets a 4, still alive and beautiful. 3-2-4-6 gets another 6 and pays the highest possible penalty. That's going to be 6 nickels doubled, so that's 12 nickels, which is $60. That's 2 quarters and 2 nickels. $60 and out. That was a big pay. Now, if everyone had died, that player would have been great because they would have taken the pot down. And now for the last player, they get a 4, so they're 2, 3, 4, 5, and still alive. This is a really big pot, and I did not set up the deck. So both players stay in again. Again, if someone were to fold, if this player were to say, I just can't handle this anymore, they fold, the pot just goes over here. If both players keep playing, which I think they are likely to do, then we're going to hit them both again. There's an ace for player 1. That's going to be a $4 penalty. $1 penalty, sorry, 1 coin penalty times 2 times 2. So 4 coins is the penalty here. This player gets a 5 and pays a much bigger penalty, 5 times 2 times 2. So they pay a lot, they pay less. 4 coins goes in the pot, and it all goes over to the yellow player. Let's have another hand and see how this goes when it's not quite so crazy. So the button passes to the left after every round, so a different player goes first every round, and action is just declaring whether you're in or out. But it's still important sometimes to know what everyone else has decided before you make your decision. So we're going to give 2 cards face up to every player. If anybody gets a pair, one of those cards turns into a whisper. That did not happen on this deal, and so we're going to ask everyone, do you want to play? On the first 2 cards, people usually stay in. If you have like a 6-5 and you just kind of didn't like the risk, oh, and I forgot, but we're all going to ante 1 coin so that there is some money to win. All right, everyone's going to stay in on this round. Ace-3 gets a deuce. Ace-6 gets a 6 and dies for 6 coins. And let's see, these are quarters, which are 5 nickels. So dead for 6 coins. Ace-4 gets a 6, Ace-4 gets a 5, and Deuce-4 gets a deuce. That's a $2 penalty and out. 3 players are going on to the next round. We're all going to stay in. We all have aces. Why, that's really good. There's an ace to die on, so $1 penalty. We'll hold that there for a second. There's a 6 coin penalty here, and we're going to hold that there for a second as well. This is important because if I stay alive, I take their money. If I also die, then the $6 penalty is going to take the whole pot. So we don't push them in just yet. Let's take a look and see what I get. I got a 6 and stayed alive. So all this falls in the middle and goes to me. This game is so quick, I'm going to play one more round. So just a refresher, since we're going one more round, I'm going to say all the rules again. Everyone antes 1 coin to start, and this time I'll actually remember to do it before I deal. The deck is a 8-suited deck, the numbers 1 through 6 in each suit, plus 6 whisper cards, which are kind of blanks, kind of. And we're going to give 2 cards to every player face up to start the round. The goal is not to get a pair, and whispers don't pair anything. If you get a whisper on the deal, that's good news, and for the camera's sake, I'm going to turn it over so it's a little easier to see. If you get a pair on the deal, that doesn't kill you, that turns into a card and a whisper. So that 4/4 turned into 4 whisper. When you have a whisper, it can't pair anything, even another whisper. But if you die, then your penalty is doubled for every whisper in your hand. Now we're going to go around the table saying whether we're in or out. And on the first round of this game, yeah, we're all going to say we're in. So everyone gets 1 more card. 5. Ace kills me. I owe a coin and I'm dead. 4 gets a 3. 3-1 gets a 2. And the dealer gets a 6. Everyone but me is still alive. And we're going to all declare again. Everyone must say whether they're in or out before the dealer deals any cards. It's just the order in which you have to declare it that goes by the button. And usually people don't care about the button. People will just say it, right? But when people hold out, like, okay, well, then do it in order. This person has to say it. This person has to say it. 4th card. A 6 and dead. But if everyone dies on the same round, if everyone who's left dies on the same round, the person who paid the highest penalty actually wins the pot. So I'm going to put this 6 here in case... Oh, it's not 6, is it? There's a whisper in that hand. It's doubled, so it's actually 12 coins. That's how much this player is going to lose, unless everyone else also loses. A 4, so 4 doubled is 8 coins out. 1, 2, 3, and $25 more. 3, 1, 2 gets a 6 and lives, and that means these out players are definitely out. And the 6-1 deuce gets a 3 and is also alive. Now look at the size of this pot. Would you fold to this pot? Neither of these players has a whisper, which means the most they could lose is 6 coins, and there's a lot more than that in here. So we're going to play this out. In and in. That's a pair of 6s. That's a pair of 1s. We have a washout. That's when everyone who's left dies on the same round. This player owes 1 coin for dying. This player owes 6 coins for dying, and so having paid the biggest penalty, they actually take the pot instead. That's how you play Whispers. This is actually kind of a brand new game at Crab Fragment Labs, so there aren't a lot of variations yet, but I know there will be someday. Please check out the rules, and you can build your own Whispers deck out of a couple of poker decks, or you can print our own version online, or you can order the nice version, the pretty beautiful cards we have here from Drive-Thru Cards. Comes in a tuck box like this. And play it with your friends and family on the holidays. Thanks for watching. I'm James Ernest from Crab Fragment Labs, and I'll see you at the table.